Hey everybody, happy Friday. I am streaming to Facebook and YouTube today. Let's see how this goes. Got a couple people already in the house. That's pretty cool. Okay. Today's question for you is, what do you like or dislike about working with PDFs? Today's conversation is all about how I can help you with a couple of different things that I've learned to help attorneys with PDFs. So, what do you like or dislike about working with PDFs? I'm curious. I gave the like and dislike because I'm sure there's some people that, have some troubles with PDFs. So I thought I'd hear what those are, and if I can help, I can, add another topic at some point to show you how to, fix that or work with it or something like that. Um, hey Jude, thanks for letting me know. Um, let's see here. So I see the comments are coming in okay on YouTube. If you can, anybody else who's out on YouTube, leave a comment. Yay, here we go. Some more comments coming in. The hey Wade, um, if you're having trouble viewing, try refreshing. Facebook is a little buggy at times, so just try to keep refreshing. Also, when I'm trying to view other people's lives on Facebook, sometimes I have to switch browsers. Chrome is usually the best, but not always. So yesterday I was trying to watch somebody's show, and it was really frustrating because I couldn't get it to work on my desktop. So also, Wade, if you switch to mobile, you might have a better chance. Um, Chris can't stand Acrobat DC, so he's keeping his users on 11. Interesting, Chris. Yeah, they definitely changed a lot, which, software providers do. Let's see. Ashley's here from the Florida Office of Attorney General. And so today I'm streaming to Facebook and YouTube, and I'm watching comments on both. So if you see me talking to somebody that's not in your comments, you'll know that it's the opposite. It's so Ashley's on YouTube. Angeli, I don't know if I said your name right, let me know, is on YouTube. Um, yes, Chris, I agree. Chris says that he can't stand Acrobat DC because they got rid of the tools panel. So I have to do numerous clicks to use various features. On that, I absolutely agree 100%. I get frustrated to the point where I just search for the tool now because they made way too many options to drill down, and you're right, it's extra clicks, which we don't like. Sheila's in the house. Sheila, that's so cool. I've been waiting to see your name in my comments. Sheila on YouTube says your attorneys don't understand what Acrobat really is and who to use it, how to use it, maybe. Ashley says I don't like the interface for DC. Too many steps. So that's 3 people. We're all in agreement on that. Okay. All right. So if you're new here, this is the pre-show part where I make sure all my technology is working, and we have a little bit of fun with answering questions and me encouraging you to use comments and engage with me, because this is not a one-way pushing information. This is a dialogue between us. That's the whole point of me doing live instead of pre-recorded. Okay, so we have about 30 seconds. I like that Adobe Acrobat is always intuitive. I mean, adding new features that are intuitive to things that we do in legal. In fact, they have a whole section of people that focus on legal and making sure they add features that we need in legal. So I really like that. But I agree with you on the extra steps in the DC version. But I don't know if it's worth not moving to it. Okay, So timer is run out, so let's officially start the show here. Hi, welcome to Legal Tech Mastery. I am Amy Bowser-Rollins, and I've been around for a while with Litigation Support Guru, but I've decided to try something new with going live on the internet, or I should say on social media. Let's see here, checking your comments to make sure. Yep, okay. So the question in the pre-show is, what do you like or dislike about working with PDFs? So we're still sort of answering that question. Hey Dinah, good to see you here. Dinah says she's not in Adobe, she's in Nuance. That's a good point. Today's topic is all about using Acrobat, but I've gotten emails in the past in response to my Fast Tip Fridays. So I've done a couple of Fast Tip Fridays using Nuance, and some of the features are almost exactly the same. The steps, it's almost like they stole from Acrobat a little bit. Ramesh says no option but to stand DC. Nice to meet you guys on the wonderful show. Ramesh, good to see you here. Okay, so another thing that I like about Adobe Acrobat in general, not the versions, is the use of actions. Actions are like scripts or macros where you can automate some processes in Adobe Acrobat. And I've done, probably somewhere between 5 and 10 Fast Tip Friday videos on using different actions to automate things. And so that's pretty cool. Let's switch to today's agenda. So today we're going to talk about two different ways to speed up the searching of PDFs. So one is within a single PDF if you get a large PDF, and that's where you need to embed an index. And the second is if you're searching across a collection of PDFs, a defined number of PDFs in a bunch of folders, then we're going to show you how to create a collection index. Okay, so have any of you, in terms of PDFs and why you would need these features in Adobe, Allison says she loves Allison on YouTube. I'm going to learn how to say both so you guys know I'm not making comments up out of thin air. So for those of you on Facebook, I'm over on YouTube. And Allison says she loves Acrobat. She wished more staff would want to learn. Yep, I agree with you, Allison. Let's see. Dinah would like help with renumbering an already numbered page in PDF. Okay. Wade is over on YouTube. Forget Facebook. Just move on over to YouTube. I've done the same thing, Wade. Good to see you here live. Okay. All right. So, well, first of all, I forgot to ask. Let me know in the comments if you just loved the video before I went live of the dog looking out the window and his or her hair in the wind. If you're a dog person, you would totally love that. If you're not a dog person, you might have smiled. I might have gotten a smile out of you because it's so cute. So let me know if you enjoyed that video. I've been trying to switch them up before you see me on the live stream. So Wade says he loved it. That's one person. That's cool. Me and Wade. Okay, so back to PDFs. For those of you that have received, well, I have, I'm sure a lot of you have, received so a lot of smaller firms don't have a lot of tools, and they sort of default to using PDFs because they don't have other tools to, get it in other formats for other databases. So I have received from clients and from opposing counsel PDFs that are thousands of pages. Raise your hand if you have received PDFs that are thousands of pages Let me just make sure my YouTube's looking good. And, ooh, Wade used to raise West Highland Terriers. I have to look that up. Sheila says the dog is too cute. Nailed the cute factor. Cool. All right, let me see if my Facebook comments look stalled. Just want to make sure to the extent I can that I don't miss any. Okay. Just refreshing. Okay, cool. Allison says yes to the PDFs with thousands of pages. Yeah, so another thing, you know, sometimes it's because it's 1,000 pages, you open the PDF and you're like, they basically combined a whole bunch of documents into one PDF. Not so helpful for the person who's receiving it and they need to get stuff done with those documents. The other thing is that you receive productions that are in PDF. So those would most likely be separate documents. You know, each document is a PDF, but other times, same thing. All the documents have been PDF'd into one large PDF. And the first thing we need to do is get them to not be in one file. But that's not the conversation for today. Today is you receive a very large PDF, thousands of pages, and the attorney asks, so partner asks associate, definitely had that scenario, or attorney asks paralegal to search that PDF, the thousands of pages PDF, for certain terms. Okay, so that's the topic of today. Hey, Abby, good to see you here. How do you say your name? I need to look that up. Pankaj. I reviewed many PDFs more than 1,000 pages. Yep. Chris says, "Where's the raise hand button?" So I do this with my students. I ask them to raise their hand in class, and then I just sort of adopted it over to being in videos and saying raising your hand. So usually when people do that, they type raise hand or hand raised or something like that. So that's the answer to your question, Chris. Okay, so the first one we're going to talk about today is embedding an index into a single PDF. So I actually did a Fast Tip Friday on this, and I'm going to play it for you. I will be in the comments if you want to chat while the video's going. Hi, Patty. Good to see you here. This video is about 4 minutes long, but it goes through all the steps, and I didn't think it was worth going through the steps manually or in slide. Why do slides when I have a video? Okay. So let's cut to that first video about the PDF, and then if you have questions or comments, put them in and I will see them, and then we'll come back, okay? Welcome to Fast Tip Friday. This is Amy Bowser with Litigation Support Guru. Today's Fast Tip is how to add an embedded index to a very large PDF so that your searching across the document will search faster. So this is an example of a document that has 1,700 pages. I just pulled together a bunch of large PDFs to get the page count. So first of all, I want to show you that I'm using Adobe Acrobat 11. In case you have a different version, things might be in a different place. Second thing is, I want to remind you that you should probably make a copy of the document like I've done here, because you probably don't want to add this index to your copy that you got from the client or wherever you got it from. You want that copy to stay pristine. So make a copy before you add the index. All right, so we're going to go to Tools, and then we're looking for a section called Document Processing, and it's not there by default. So we're going to click on this little icon right here, and then we're going to add Document Processing. So there's a bunch of good stuff in here. And at the bottom is Manage Embedded Index. So it will tell you whether or not the document has an embedded index already. And if it doesn't, you can click right here and it will start building the index. It doesn't take too long. But while that's running, I want to remind you that you can, at any point, you can come in here and either remove the index, or if you add pages to your PDF, you can come in here and update your index. Okay, it's not taking too long. Certainly faster than OCRing a document of this size. By the way, this document has already been OCR'd. Obviously, you can't search a document without it being OCR'd. Okay, so we're going to click OK. And then if you do Control F or regular find, it's just going to find each instance one at a time and present the document to you. And I don't like that, so I'll show you what that looks like. So you do Control F and you put in a word, and then it just basically gives you the ability to go next, next, next. I would rather end up with a list because I'm a database person, so I like to have all the results in front of me. So I'm going to close that. So we want to go to Edit, Advanced Search, and here's the keystroke for that. Alright, so once we're in Advanced Search, we want to search in the current document, and I'm going to search for a word. Alright, so it found 7 instances, and the thing I like about advanced search is that you could just click on each one and go back to them easily, which you can't do if you're doing a regular find and clicking on next. Okay, so I'm going to close that, and I'm going to go back over here to Manage Embedded Index, and then I'm going to remove the index, which is pretty easy to do. And then I'm going to save it. So now it's the version without the index. I'm going to click on that again so it doesn't have an index. And then I want to show you what it looks like to search. I'm going to go back to the beginning. To search without the index. So I'm going to do Advanced Search. There's my search term still in there. So I'm going to click Search and watch how it, see how it's going through the pages? Whereas in the first instance it didn't need to do that. It had an index already, so it's much easier to find the results. It still finds 7 hits, but it takes this much longer to do it. Okay? Alright, I hope you can put this to good use. Okay, so I was listening to the audio to make sure that it was working, because Allison on YouTube said that she couldn't hear the video. So can you guys let me know if can you confirm on Facebook and YouTube that you heard that video? And that way I can play the second video without any issues. All right. Okay, so that one is, as you can see, is very easy to do. You embed the index on the PDF itself, whereas the next option we're going to do is something that you create that you have to point to from Adobe. All right, so I've got 2 other confirmations on YouTube that they heard and saw the video. Okay, Facebook, you're being quiet. Let's get some conversation going on Facebook. This is funny because now that I have both, it's like a little semi-competition here. Okay, here we go. All right, I'm getting confirmation from Facebook that they could hear the video. Yay! Okay. Rebecca, hey, good to see you here. So, I have been waiting to get the confidence, I guess, to live stream to both, because it's, another level of complexity. And if you've been watching my other shows the last few weeks, I've been doing some pretty fancy things with, graphics and a guest. And, last week I tried a mind map to make sure that I could use that. So uh, this this is a little trickier to have comments coming in from two different sources. But it looks like, let me see here. Yeah, there's a lot more people on YouTube. So for those of you that filled out the survey that I sent a few months ago asking if your employer blocks Facebook and or YouTube, thank you so much. I got almost 200 responses, and there was a definite, most people had access to both at work, but there were so many people that don't have access to Facebook but did have access to YouTube, and then there was less that had both blocked at work. Those damn IT guys blocking things. I don't know about you, but I actually used Facebook I don't have time to chat on Facebook during my day, okay? But I used Facebook for some lawyers who had me doing research about other people. So we need the tools. And you certainly need YouTube because while you're at the office, because what if you get stuck and you need to go Google it and it ends on a YouTube video? You need to be able to, get help from YouTube. So glad to see you guys here on YouTube. Yeah, Nancy's confirming that her firm leaves YouTube open but blocks Facebook. Okay, let's see. All right, so that one was pretty self-explanatory. If you guys have any questions about that first, solution, I don't see any questions yet, so that one was pretty simple. And I also showed you how easy it is to add the index and remove it so that you could do that if you need to. Okay, the next scenario is a bunch of PDFs in a bunch of subfolders on your server, and the attorney asks you to search for some terms in those PDFs. So at my last firm, right before I left, I had a young associate who, when you're in litigation support, sometimes they don't come to you and ask you for help. And she actually was tasked with searching across multiple PDFs. So we inherited a case from another firm, and they sent over, I think it was a little bit less than 100 interview memos that, they had typed up the results of some interviews. And the partner asked her to search the PDFs for certain words. Of course, that makes sense, right? And she was going into each PDF one by one and searching for the terms. And luckily, she's a smart cookie. She knew to walk down the hall and ask me for help. And I showed her how in Windows, I showed her how she could, another way in Adobe Acrobat that she could do a search across files. But then, once I started doing Fast Tip Fridays, I found this better solution, which is to create an index of those documents, and then you can just do your searches lickety-split. So another example of getting a bunch of PDFs is, from your client. So they may send over documents that you asked for, and it's a whole bunch of zipped up folders of PDFs. And the first thing the attorneys need to do is get into them, and a lot of times they need to search them. And then there's the thing about whether or not they're searchable at all, right? So I do have a Fast Tip Friday, this one. If you go to my site, you can search for this. So this was a solution that Sean Hochet out of the New York area shared on his blog, and then I borrowed it. But it's really cool because this free tool, Count Anything, can find the PDFs across folders that are not searchable yet. So then you know which ones you need to go OCR real quick before you search. So that's pretty cool. Thank you, Sean. Okay. And then another example is trial exhibits, right? You're exchanging trial exhibits. Don't they, in my experience, a lot of them come in PDF format. So let's see here. Okay. So the next one is about how you have PDFs across subfolders and you need to search across them. So in this case, you're going to create an index. So in the database world, I've written a blog post about this a few months ago about, I think the title of the blog post is Electronic Discovery Indexing. And it talks about how, in order to search these document databases that we have, you know, concordance, relativity, any of the other tools out there that you're using, behind the scenes, they have created an index of the words so that when you search, it's easier and faster. Same concept here, okay? So let's go ahead and watch this second one and let me know if you have any comments as it's going on, okay? Welcome to Fast Tip Friday. This is Amy Bowser with Litigation Support Guru. Today's fast tip is how to create a full text index across folders and subfolders of PDF files so that you can search across all of them quickly all at once. Okay, so in this example, I created a folder and then I have two subfolders. And in each subfolder, I have some PDF files. These are just sample files. Okay, so we're going to search across all of the folders and all of the PDFs. All right, so I'm using Adobe Acrobat 11 Pro. So if you're using an earlier version, the options will be in slightly different places and the dialog boxes will look a little different. We're going to go to Tools. By default, the section that we want called Document Processing is not visible. So we're going to click on this little icon and we're going to select Document Processing. So the option we're going to choose is this one, Full Text Index with Catalog, and that'll create the full text index that we're looking for. So I'm going to click that. Gives you some information down here. But we're going to go ahead and click New Index. So you can name the index and you can give the index a description. So for this, I'm just going to say, I'll just put FTF index for Fast Tip Friday. And then for the description, I'll just put FTX index descript, as if we have one. Down here, you can include the directories that you want to go into the index. So we're going to click Add. And we're going to go to my C drive where I have this Fast Tip Friday folder and then folder 1. So we want to search or index all the files below this. So click OK. And then you can also exclude some subdirectories. So if you have some directories further down somewhere that you don't want to include for whatever reason, you could add them individually. Alright, so we're going to click Build, and then it wants to create a PDX file, and we're going to, you want to navigate to where you want that PDX file to be saved. And in my case, I've already done this once to prepare for the tutorial, so I wanted the index to be placed right here, right near my parent folder. So there's the name that I created, and I'm going to just click Save. Now you saw that it ran it real quick. It's because these files are very small. I think they're even one-pagers. So normally it would sit here for a little bit and would go through all the PDF files and build the index. So it finished creating the index, and I'm going to click Close. Now you can see what it did. It created a PDX file, which we're expecting, created a log file, and then it created a folder called FTF index as well, and then it has some IDX files in it. We don't need to be concerned with all of this. We only care about the PDX file. So back to Adobe, we're going to go to Edit, Advanced Search. So now we want to tell Adobe Acrobat where the index is so we can search across all of the files. So we're going to go down here to Show More Options. And then Look In, we're going to select that. And we're going to choose Select Index. So now there's no indexes attached to Adobe Acrobat right now. So we'll click Add. You would navigate to where you have your PDX file. Click that, and then I'll click Open. So now the index is selected. Click OK. So now it wants to, it's allowing us to run our search, and then the look-in is currently selected indexes. So you can also down here decide whether you want to search also bookmarks or comments in addition to the text of the documents. If you've added a bunch of comments in the PDF files, you may or may not want to search those as well. So I'm just going to put a word that I know that is in the files. And then I'm just going to click Search, because I want to show you what the results look like. So in the folders we had 8 exhibits, and it shows you the metadata for the title of the file. So see, I've got my, I'm mousing over it, and it shows me some metadata. So in the metadata, in other words, if the file was named, you know, exhibit 33.pdf, but the title in the metadata said exhibit 1, that's what it would present to us here. 9 times out of 10, though, the metadata title is going to be equal to the file name. I like that it gives you the file that it found it in, which is very helpful. So I'm just going to expand one of these. In Exhibit 1, it found the word anyone in 2 places. I'm mousing over, and it tells me what page number. These are both on page 1, which I think is pretty cool. So if I click on this first hit, I want to see that in particular. If I click on it, it's going to open that Exhibit 1 file and then highlight the term, which is really nice. So now if I click on the second one, it just jumps to the second instance of that term. And then if I were to come down and choose another file, it'll open that file and do the same thing. So it's very, very helpful. The index will be attached to Adobe Acrobat itself. You know, it's you still have to tell Adobe Acrobat where the index is. But that's it. So it's really, really helpful. This happens a lot with attorneys. They need to search across a lot of PDFs, and there you can search across the PDFs in another way. But in this way, it's creating the index, which we learned in the last FTF last week, that just creating an index will speed up the search results. Okay, so I hope you can put this to good use. afraid of doing. So I turned off my audio so I could click and use my keyboard for answering comments during the video, and that was what I was afraid of, is that I wouldn't turn my audio back on. So thank you for letting me know. But let me repeat what I was going to say. So let me put this back up here. Okay, so what I was saying about this one is there's a question in the comments from yeah, I was wondering who it was from. Yeah, it was Pongaj. Can you search more than one keyword in a PDF? And the answer was this. So I was going to bring this up anyway, which is the ability to search across PDFs, but you can do one of two things. You can enter a bunch of words and then search for all of them at once, or you can, what I do is import a list of words, and then because you're getting the list from the attorneys anyway, so import the list, and it can be as long as you need it to be, and then you basically run an action. That's what this video shows you how to do. That goes and searches for all the words, all the terms, and then in this case, it'll highlight all the terms so that you can give that new PDF to the attorneys with all the highlights, which is very nice. But the answer is yes, you can import a list of keywords. While the video was playing, I also put a link to today's handout. For those of you that are new, I have a handout with every show. So in Facebook, I usually add the link right before the show ends. So I just did that on Facebook. For YouTube, I'm going to add it after the fact, because I'm going to add the recording of the video, not just the live video. I'm going to replace the live video on YouTube with the higher quality. Make sure it's the highest quality. Okay, let me make sure that I caught up on all the comments. You know, the problem with the audio not being on and then you commenting is that there's a delay. So the comments don't come in till, you know, a little bit later than you'd like them to. So thank you for letting me know about the audio. That's very cool. Okay, let's see. Okay, so you guys are helping each other over on YouTube. Yeah, so on YouTube, it's a little trickier sometimes with live, because if you don't have the live, for those of you on Facebook, you might want to try YouTube once or twice to see the difference, see which one you like. But the live, I had to learn it too. Clicking live means you're actually where I am in live. But I also enabled the option that lets you, they call it DVR, like our DVRs, that lets you go back a little. So if you miss something, if somebody interrupts the live, interrupts you while I'm live, you can actually go back in time a little bit and pick up where you left off while it's still live. And then you're basically behind in the comments, but it's pretty cool. But otherwise, if you click live, it catches you up to where everyone is. Okay. Let's see. So nobody had any questions about... Wade says his lip reading skills come into play every so often. So how'd you do with that? Do I have lips that are easy to read? Let's see. Okay, so some people are saying that okay. Sorry, I thought that was about the video, but it was just about me not having audio. Okay. All right, so like I said, in Facebook, I added a link to the handout. The handout this week is transcription for the 2 videos. So you can just read the text. And then I also provided the step-by-step instructions to do both things that I talked about today, or that my former self talked about today in the video. So just want to make sure. Do you guys have any other questions before I let you go? No problem. I really want to say your name right. It's Punkaj. something like that. Harley, no. There are dogs right down here. And Harley had her foot on the power strip. Not a good idea during the show. Okay. Oh, what I was saying about your name is I work at part-time at Case Point, and they have a whole team in India, so I'm trying to learn how to say their names correctly, because I think I do the same thing for Americans. If your mom named you something, I want to call you that correctly. Okay, I think that's it for today. I don't see any more questions. I'm really excited that the YouTube thing went very smoothly, and I'll continue to stream to both. I upgraded my internet at my house to make sure that my upload speed was double. It was going to be fine, but I was a little nervous, so I upgraded it so it's more than fine. And That's all I have for you today. I'm really excited, though, that you guys, that we had some YouTubers today. Thank you so much. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you back here, same time, same bat channel, okay?